minute past 8 a.m. and of course, still driving your business in here. And definitely, we're now heading into the very interesting aspect of where it's very vital for any entrepreneur to be encouraged, to be motivated in a way so that you can really achieve that goal. Definitely, heading to any business goal, it may not be really quite an easy opportunity or an easy journey in a way, but of course, it all takes about the possibilities that you possess. But all this comes about, of course, being inspired because it all comes back with mindset and attitude towards what you're doing. Now, but of course, all this is powered by Zabu. We just made your trading experience much more easy and friendly. Star 292 hash, that is the magic code, and you'll be availed with quite lots of options. You can buy government bonds and securities with as little as 15,000 Ugandan shillings. Now the markets open at exactly 8:15 a.m. and they close at exactly 3:15 p.m. That is East African time, Monday to Friday, except on the weekends and also on the public holidays where they're not in operation. But definitely, it's very efficient of you. You will be able to trade on these other days when the markets are available. So there is no excuses why you shouldn't own government bonds and company securities. Zabu, my money, my future. Alterx East Africa, do something new. Now getting straight into at this very time as we get into review our business tips and quotes. Of course, it's very, like I told you earlier, motivation. It's good to motivate yourself as an entrepreneur because it's very vital. Because the success of any business really has the aspect of the mentality and mindset. Once those two are really pulled together and they can reconcile, of course, with each other, you'll definitely be in position to manage an efficient business. Well, now let's get into our business tips and quotes. But firstly, let's review the business tip of the day today. Now the business tip of the day says understand what motivates your customers to buy. Well, that is something very important. What motivates your customers to buy? I know it's not the first time we're doing this because you need to, as you're running your business, you're not doing it, this is what you want to do. You're simply doing what the customers want you to do. You don't dictate for them what you want. And it's also very important that you put yourself in this perspective of being a servant towards them. Yeah, you're serving your customers in that way. You will be able to attract them. In so many cases, we do businesses, we run different projects, and the entire concept is really largely based on just our interests, on what we think, on our ideologies. But we rule out the fact that the common person, all that person that is going to, is actually your boss. You're not the boss because if they can decide one day not to purchase your materials, you realize how useless your enterprise will be. So in whatever you do, make sure that you motivate your customers to keep buying, So definitely that means you're going to only do that which benefits them, not what benefits you. Probably you can, if you want to do something that benefits you, you could probably in the future when you accumulate lots of money, you can probably open up a venture that deals with that aspect that can run your way. And in most cases, when you're doing what you want, it's always a leisure. It's the commercial aspect is, well, it's there, but it's not so much. In most cases, the commercial aspect of anything, of any business success, largely relies on letting go of your interests and you choose to serve the customers, all the people that you intend to sell to, your idea, your product, and so many other related services in a way. Well, I guess that's very clear, and I guess any business person right there, it could be something very, very good for you. Now let's wind this session up as we take a look at the business quote of the day. Now, the business quote of the day says it's fine to celebrate success, but it's more important to heed to lessons of failure. Yeah. In most cases, when we encounter failure in a way, we tend to be put in a place of, you know, you don't self doubt. Let me say that, self doubt. But then we forget the other beauty of it, that this is something that you're learning from. And if you face it, you face that failure and accept it, that, I failed, but above all, what did you learn? And sometimes the lessons in life, what I'm coming to realize with time, most of sometimes it takes patience for you to heed to the lessons of failure. Some because sometimes if you do something, let me give an example. You could be put in a place whereby you renovate and you probably did what you weren't supposed to do, and the business didn't go as you anticipated. Probably things had another turnaround, and then, well, you get back to zero. But then as you're coming back, you get to realize that there are needs you desire. Of course, you have, this is the money, you have to clear bills. Now you want, in a way, to resume to the business that failed. Not that it failed, but you did something that wasn't right, probably, that it made the business fail. Probably. And in most cases, it comes with greed for money, quick returns. You want to get this so fast. And now you're put in a place whereby you're running a similar business. You know, you know that last time you erred because you wanted to make more money, but now you feel like at this time when you're returning to the business, you still feel like you need more money, and now you kind of put into a temptation of trying to redo what you did last time, hoping that this time probably you may be lucky. Now that's the hardest point in life. What if you just stay patient and you stay patient and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna do this mistake again. I know I need to pay these bills, but let me be patient. It will work out. That's that's the entire beauty of business, and that's why it's very important. As we celebrate success, let's take heed to the lessons that we obtain, of course, from failure. As it regarding the business tips and quotes, and probably now this very time we're getting into our update, and this time around we shall be looking at the equal opportunities, that is for budget assessment, and of course the stakeholders in here we have Lay, that is the chairperson of Equal Opportunities Commission, and also Mr. Magona Mweru, and of course director, of course budget, that is regarding to when it comes to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Definitely, let's get into this real quick. I'll be returning for further discussions.
Realization of strategic projects such as the commencement of the construction of the standard gauge railway and finalization of the rehabilitation of the meter gauge railway. These two projects alone will result in reduced travel time, reduced congestion, and more importantly, reduced cost of doing business for the vulnerable. I also wish to commend His Excellency, the President, Cabinet, and your Ministry for the direction you provided in the first and second budget instead of budget are responsible for finance, planning, and economic development in consultation with the Equal Opportunities Commission, certifying that the policy statement is gender and equity responsive, and specifying measures taken to equalize opportunities for men, women, persons with disabilities, and other marginalized groups. Our Honourable Minister, for this year, we have actually taken caution to actually look out for the specific measures to equalize opportunities for these groups. And accordingly, allow me to highlight a few measures considered by the Commission to recommend the above MDS for issuance of the Certificate of Gender and Equity Compliance. Specific measures taken to equalize opportunities for all for financial year 21-22 to 22-23. Number one, government procured a fleet of 26 ambulances, of which 14 were road ambulances, while 12 were water ambulances. At the time of obtaining this information, 2 more boat ambulances were expected for emergency response and transporting vaccination. Number two, government utilized 6.6 billion to boost income generating activities for persons with disabilities. The Ministry of Works and Transport utilized a total of more than 8 billion to construct 1 cable foot bridge in Ibanda district, western Uganda. This is a hard-to-reach area, and the cable foot bridge is a very good intervention in increasing accessibility from the hills to the lowlands.
Of allocation has reduced. But in spite of that, we have, of course, got the approval of Cabinet to present the budget, as I said, tomorrow in Parliament. And the budget which is being presented tomorrow prioritizes the following. It prioritizes the construction of the standard gauge railway. It prioritizes the finalization of the rehabilitation of the meter gauge railway. It prioritizes irrigation because of climate change. As you know, there is need for us not to depend entirely on rain-fed agriculture, but to bridge the gap between the rains and the dry spells. It prioritizes road maintenance. I want to say that in addition to the money that goes through the road fund of 461 billion, next year each local government is going to receive 1 billion shillings for road maintenance. And given that we have 176 local governments in this country, so there is going to be 176 billion for road maintenance, which money will be spent directly by the local governments. The President has also highlighted the need for us to prioritize the science economy. So in the science economy, that's why we prioritize innovations. We prioritize what we call the pathogen economy, which is basically the issue of manufacture of vaccines and pharmaceuticals. So that has been prioritized in the budget for next year. Of course, security is fundamental, so it is prioritized. In addition, of course, we have the human capital development, which includes education, health, water for consumption, and social development, especially the social assistance grants for empowerment. So SAGE, that grant for the elderly, has been restored, because at some point I think it had been left out of the budget, but is now restored to 121 billion shillings. Of course, in addition, we continue to prioritize the parish development model. So just like this year we had a budget of 1 trillion, 59 billion, the same budget is maintained next year for the parish development model. We continue with the Myoga program, the capitalization of Uganda Development Bank, and so on and so forth. So all these programs are continuing, but we have prioritized some because of their importance in particularly ensuring economic recovery and also wealth creation. So, Chairperson, I want to thank you for this report. As you indicated, 158 votes were assessed. 136 got the pass mark, and 22 did not get the pass mark. I think the question that will be asked in Parliament is, so what do we do with the 22 that did not pass? Because I noted from particularly the ones that did not pass, the 22, the majority of them are missions abroad. So I think we need to have a very clear strategy on how we can assist the missions.
That is equal opportunities for budget assessment, and definitely some of the key discussions in here were regarding the matters of the construction of the standard gauge railway being one of the priorities. We saw the health sector, setting up the different desired medical facilities. So basically, each personnel, each individual, of course, as regarding the budget, finance allocation, each set equal opportunity, and of course, not some people feeling this aspect of being left out. Now, still the construction of the standard gauge railway, like I said, and road maintenance were among the major priorities regarding this regard. Well, at this time I'm with Joram as we have a discussion regarding these matters, budget allocations.
Today is Friday. When you look at this kind of situation, we're only left with 2 months to the budget representation. That is to end the year.
Yeah.
So April and May may be the only 2 months. We have 3 months if you're to look at that.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone is saying equal opportunities for budget assessment. Now, road maintenance among major priorities. I think road maintenance has been a major priority starting for this area because there were lots of initiatives, especially from the Kampala City Council Authority, to ensure that all roads, those that actually lead within the city, the suburbs, especially those with potholes. So it is a long year to go for that issue of road maintenance till September, because that's already been worked on. The works do not appeal to what we're expecting. And then here there is a situation when you talk about road maintenance, I think it is generally bringing in the transportation sector. And now when you call for equal opportunities again, the transportation sector, they highlight construction of the standard gauge railway. This one, according to a 2016 artistic impression, by this time around we would have had our terminal here in Kampala, or we would have already started using the SGR in Uganda, because we're supposed. The reason as to why Kenya's SGR only stops in Kisumu, the reason as to why the standard gauge railway after Naivasha, it doesn't actually cross to Kisumu. So the reason as to why it is that is because it was supposed to still Uganda, but because we lack the funds, we could not, and so Kenya had to remain with its own the other way. So that is why from Naivasha you will see they turn onto the meter gauge railway to come to Uganda. So here, first of all, the construction needs urgent attention. They've already given it their attention, but the issue is what next? What will happen after? Because the budget was there, the works were, when you look at everyone who was behind the entire project. The idea was by this time round we would have had at least projects or developments. Nothing really. Nothing is really happening. But in this particular app that you get to realize it's supposed to be a very key. It needs a lot of attention. Because it's a key, for trade, even transportation, because public transport has always been cheaper. Everywhere you go, if you're to look at most of the developed countries, they make sure that public transport is available. It makes everything easier. It controls a lot to do with traffic jam and everything. But then when you look at equal opportunities for the budget assessment, and then we look at the budget assessment itself, not all sectors performed accordingly, and not all the money that was given to these people met what it was supposed to do. So I think this is one of the other challenges that need to be addressed pretty much earlier before we even get into the next financial year.
Well, that's very interesting. And you were talking about the standard gauge railway.
Yes.
Impression that by 2020, we're
By
supposed to
2023 now, we're
2023,
supposed to at least have
something.
the trains running, because that was a projection of 5 years.
5 years. Now you get your okay. Jerome, I always have this question in mind. When the policy makers are probably releasing busing these funds off for a certain project, I don't know whether they be having in mind that this will last for all this while, because you find that money is released for a specific cause, but it doesn't, and every day literally that sector, we should reach a point whereby now we are not, okay, that sector is sorted for now.
Yeah, sure.
We are only just doing a few maintenance aspects, but every day the sectors, roads, KCCA, when they were doing that, they actually got a loan from some bank, which name has skipped my mind. I know it was a grant, it wasn't a loan, specifically for that. But honestly speaking, right now when you go to town, it's very evident. They came and did some campaigns around Garden City. The media was around there when they are showcasing how they are covering the potholes. I think they also went towards that road that stretches towards Fairway. That road, that Kololo, that links to Kololo.
That links to the upper Kololo.
They covered a few holes. But now
it is the same situation around Chibuli and the Nsambia lanes that
Yes.
actually lead to Namuongo.
Namuongo, yes. In fact, there is this new building that is towards this street where, is it Benchwanuka Street and William Street? There's a roundabout, actually where former Pioneer Mall was. There is a new building that has been put there. If you really pass there, it's very horrible, and that is city center. Yeah. And with such developments, with such businesses, you'd anticipate that if you're really, you want to attract mobility of goods, mobility of labor, people come from different parts of the country to come and transact in Kampala. But once they find those potholes, that is fear of damaging, because they feel like their vehicles will be damaged and the cost is coming back to them. And now money is dispersed, and just potholes of less than 5 centimeter diameter are being covered. I mean, to me, I don't know, but when I look at aspects, it doesn't really add up. I don't know what they be having in mind regarding this. They talked about ambulances, having medical facilities. Joram, I don't know whether in Uganda we have an ambulance.
We do have.
When we talk about an ambulance, it's not just a vehicle with an alarm on. An ambulance is.
No, we do have quite a number. Maybe they don't meet the standards of the international level. But because we have some hospitals here that have got quality ambulances. You mentioned of IHK. There is a Roswell hospital around Fairway. That's for children and women. You get to realize even Mulago has got ambulances.
Okay, we do have what we call ambulances. Yeah. But among us, if there are 100, let me estimate 20 are on world level, like that standard. Because an ambulance in itself is like a sub-hospital within. That's why you find that you can't even be treated there. The facility that should be there should be the same level on the hospital. This is just because it's a moving hospital. That's how an ambulance is, according to, not just a vehicle with a bed inside and an alarm moving around. Now that's what we have in Uganda. Even a taxi can be turned into one, and put a bed inside, and you say it's an ambulance.
I think those are quite.
That's what I was saying, that we have. So I think all this aspect, when it comes now to equal opportunities, budget assessment, these are things that should be really looked into if we are to really have steady growth and progress in our country. All right, now in here, still driving your business, 26 minutes past 8 a.m. That's been matters regarding the equal opportunities for budget assessment. And of course, quite so many sectors which need to be really allocated money. The railway transport, the road transport, the health sector, and so many other related important sectors when it comes to generation of revenue and their impact to the economy. Well, at this very time, we're going to get into a short commercial break. But of course, don't forget to buy securities and bonds and government bonds with Zabu. We just made it much more easy. Start tonight to hash is the magic code, as you will be availed with quite lots of options. You can buy government bonds and securities with as little as 15,000. Of course, that's the minimum amount, but you can pay more than that. You can invest 100,000 or even $1 million. And the markets open at 8:15 a.m. and close at exactly they open at 8:15 a.m. and they close at 3:15 p.m. That's East African time, Monday to Friday, except on the weekends when they don't operate. 2023, of course, we need to do things a little bit different. You need to have quite lots of sources of income, and one of the ways is securities, which Zabu has made available for you. Zabu, my money, my future. All takes East Africa do something new. Well, 8:28, let's get to the short commercial break, and of course, when we shall be returning, we have something from the world of sports, business, and entertainment at the same time. Stick around.